right, we are back, up and rolling. I guess everybody's at work today, so I'm going to hang out for a couple minutes. I'm just going to review because this will go into my, what do you call it, the feed and everything. So just showing up the art from CROM the Barbarian Collected 2024 Revised Edition. This is my cover art, and it is donning the newly released CROM the Barbarian. This is a 140 page black and white magazine size. It's got that old school newsprint feel. I did 4 CROM stories, very, very well rendered, gray values, using all kinds of mark making, ink, pencil, pen, spray cans, gouache, acrylic paint, just everything I can to get things, feeling like the old school Savage Sword of Conan, stuff you'd see in Heavy Metal magazine. Then there's the original Adventurous Conan, CROM the Barbarian, by the creators, Gardner Fox and John Junta. There's 3 of those stories. They came out in 1950. And then, of course, there was a one in the 70s called, it was basically just a Jack Katz jungle comic with Gardner Fox writing it, called Zangar. But it just feels so much like a CROM story that I just photoshopped CROM in there, turned his hair blonde, and then calling it a lost CROM story. Then we get to CROM Warlock of Sharador. This is a 35-page prose that I have done 35 spot illustrations for. It's a really cool read. This is also a story to help get people connected to this young jungle barbarian kid that ends up becoming the dark god that Conan, the Cimmerian, prays to. So there's a really neat storyline. The ending is very open-ended, and it's going to help really write these stories into some good sword and sorcery, classic sword and sorcery stuff. So this is the last panel. This is CROM after he's gone through this event that has shifted him from being a young, naive jungle boy into then the adventurous Conan type character that ends up becoming the Dark God CROM. So I had 5 guest artists come along and do some really fantastic versions of their CROM the Barbarian. And so, yeah. And then, hey, Tanner, then we used them as covers. So it was David Molina, Drawn Sword, Ken Landgraf, Adam Dodds, and Jason Schoonover. So let me show you these covers because these are fantastic. So there's 6 covers to choose from. Mine's one of them, Drawn Sword. He's from New Zealand. As you can see, this is some fantastic, like, death metal. This is all pencil, and this is 2 size. I have to repeat, this is 2 size. He does it on A4 paper, which is in American terms like 8.5 by 11. So totally amazing work. Jason Schoonover took a Renaissance style Caravaggio painting that he recently saw in a museum and turned it into a CROM pinup. And the neat thing is obviously you see this cut off hand, and that goes right over to the end page. So when you purchase Jason Schoonover's cover, you get this really cool added end page to the story. So that's really awesome. This guy is up and coming. I'm so happy to be with him right at the beginning of his journey. He's got tons of work. Check out his Instagram. It's Pariah Comics. I'll put a link in the description or however I can in the comments afterwards. David Molina, just a fantastic cover of CROM. And this is all Zipatones, hand-cut Zipatones. I think he's about 3 different gray values other than black. He really just knocked this out. I mean, you can see, cut it out just to get this sword to have that like Damascus steel or whatever. I mean, it's sick. Then Doodly Gobbledygook, Adam Dodds, love this. I mean, Adam has this amazing just technique with taking patterns in line, and then of course the elements, and then putting together. So when I approached him, I was taking a chance, and he obviously took a chance with this project. But what he did was this CROM kind of pulling away a veil. You know, it's kind of like Doctor Strange type stuff, but it's just great. I find myself just staring at it sometimes just to get that what I call meditation going. And of course, Ken Landgraf. If you're into indie comics, especially the black and whites, I was lucky enough to get him to do a CROM pinup, and of course, he's one of the covers. So you know, you got 6 covers to choose from, and I'm ultimately answering this question: can CROM sell 100 copies without Kickstarter? So it sounds a bit like you know, trying to sell something, you know, against Kickstarter, but I really am not. I just find it to be, why wait? So I have cromthebarbarian.com, and you can immediately buy a comic book and have it shipped to you. It's about 10 days. I use a print on demand called Lulu. So I think it's very, very affordable at the pricing I have it right now. Even the shipping, I just dropped the shipping by $3 to any country that is, you know, UK, Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand. So it's just really, really exciting to do this. As of right now, just about 15 minutes before I went on live, we have 33 have been sold so far, which is so awesome. And I cannot thank you for supporting this. And this is just the beginning, because where I'm heading with this is I want to get going a old school anthology magazine, very much in the way of Savage Sword of Conan and Heavy Metal. These are the two magazines that I grew up with pretty much all the time. I didn't get into any kind of superhero other than maybe Daredevil, and that was because he had ninjas involved. Electro Assassin was super cool. But other than that, it was all about ninjas, samurais, and barbarians. And then anything that was coming out through Heavy Metal magazine. And seeing this art, it just caused me to want to be an artist. The combination of John Buscema and Alfredo Akala is pretty much the core of my belief system. So it's just very important. So with that being said, based on the success, if I could sell 100 copies, it's really going to help support my second follow-up, which will be called CROM Anthology. And what it'll be is a 8.5 by 11. It'll be CROM centric, so there'll be stories continuing the storyline, comic book and prose, around CROM becoming this dark god that Conan the Barbarian praises to, and then back matter. You know, we always have those, you know, other stories and stuff. So there'll be other people involved doing their stories there, you know, and which is great. But I also put together this 450-page scrapbook collection of just stuff that I want to either do a variant version in my inks, or get some licensing or agreement from the owners or the estates, and have these get reprinted and out there. Most of the stuff you can find in really crappy downloadable, you know, versions and stuff online and stuff, but this stuff really needs to be kept out in the print wild. So you know, it's just really fun stuff going all the way back to the golden age. This story is just absolutely bonkers. I love this story. It's called Dark Daring. It came out in 1941. Wow Comics. It's Canadian based, and it's just, you know, it's like Robert Louis Stevens, but at the same time, comic books having this just hyperbolic way of going about things. It's just fantastic. I mean, he not only ends up meeting a gorilla, fighting the gorilla, but befriending a gorilla, ends up fighting cannibal savages, damsel in distress, swords. It's just good old fashioned bonkers stuff. Then Gardner Fox, we're keeping his voice alive. There's some material out there that I want to incorporate back into his world, as well as this amazing William Mineo, this came out in Barbarian Comics 2, 3, and 4, April 1973. And Will Mineo, I'm tracking him down, and I'm going to see if I can get this either reprinted, or I'm actually kind of working on a variant version. And you'll be hearing me speak a lot about variant versions, and my other theory that comics need to get a hold of is we always get these variant versions of covers, but I never see anybody do variant versions of interiors. So who knows? Maybe we'll get something going here. But yeah, just wanted to get on, share. CROM the Barbarian is where you can go to make a purchase and support. I mean, this is August 12th, so we're a third of the way through. I got till the 31st. Only my covers will be available after the 31st for purchase. So all of the other 5 will only be till the end of this month. And then part of the compensation package with the artists working with me is I'm going to give them copies, and then you can purchase them directly from them so they can actually make some money and get some support from you. But once again, this is my original art. This is the cover art for my version of CROM the Barbarian. And this is just pencils right now on my Instagram. You can watch me do this process videos of me working on this, and it's everything. It starts with pencils, a lot of erasing. I'm a big fan of black and white having an equal share of value when it gets down to it. Black and gray colored pencils, black, white, and gray wash, brush pens, ballpoint pens, white paint marker. Yeah, I just keep looking more and more for things to help make that happen. And the biggest thing is this is my art. This is what I consider to be my art. This whole thing. So the cover is great. This is the original art, and of course it will, I guess, intrinsically have some value to somebody somewhere down the road. But what is most important to me, and the thing I spend most of my time, is that translation of this material, hand making stuff, becoming this material, which is a comic book. And you can sit down and just keep coming back to it over and over again and enjoy yourself and escape. And we need a lot more escapism right now. And we don't need any moral valuing or reevaluating in our fantasy comics. So that's one of the things I'm going to be holding very steady to, is just getting out there and having some crazy fun when it gets down to having a comic book and reading it. So if you made it this far, or you're coming in, technically speaking, I'm using Riverside.fm, which we use for Turbo Pit Fighter, which is a comic book I'm working on with Jake Jacobs. And we do that every Sunday. Go to YouTube, Turbo Pit Fighter, making of Turbo Pit Fighter. We get together. We also do a indie comic exchange, which Tanner was a part of just recently. I just finished editing that, and that's going to go live, I believe, at like 12:30 today. But I'm sorry, the Riverside.fm is the software that I use to do our podcasting. And right now I've learned to do simultaneous live streaming. So I'm live streaming to YouTube and Instagram. So that's pretty cool. It seems to be working well, which means I'll be doing this more and more as it goes on. But, you know, these are the other things that not only I share a lot of wisdom, if you will, about trying to be a successful artist nowadays, not only comic book art, but just artist. So technically speaking, Riverside.fm is a really good platform for not only doing your recordings for podcasting, but also live streaming. So be able to get out there, the message out to everybody, and then the stuff will be on there. So if you end up coming to this after I've done this recording, please leave comments below. I look at, I look for those comments and answer every single one of them as they come up. As I said, I'm getting the word out. CROM the Barbarian, 140 pages, black and white, 8.5 by 11 magazine size. And we're answering this question: can CROM sell 100 copies without Kickstarter? CROMthebarbarian.com is where you can go. Right now, as of today, the 12th of August, 33 copies have sold. 2 to Australia. So I want to thank those guys who purchased, and also helped me figure to bring the cost of shipping down by a couple dollars too, because 2 orders helped me recalibrate that. But yeah, it's really exciting. This is just the beginning, and I think the other big thing I like to put out there is community building. There's not a lot of people that are into 140 black and white, 8.5 by 11 magazine size sword and sorcery, totally based fantasy comic books. But the ones that are out there, like myself, we seem to be pushed to the very, very ends of the indie comic universe. And when something comes along, we do a lot of supporting, but it just doesn't ever seem to be enough. So I'm really hoping and pushing and advocating that CROM anthology ends up being something that can support in a community way, and people can have just a really good escaping time. So once again, this is one of 6 covers. This is my cover. There is also a Ken Landgraf cover, which is quite honestly the second most popular cover right now. Oh yeah, you got some questions here. Mangle Dangle, thank you very much. Nice. Thank you for the support. Thank you. And I believe I just checked out your stuff that you're a part of, a CROM book coming out that James is working on, that I heard through Alex Durbin. If I'm not correct, I apologize, but that is something coming out. Everybody should go to Just James Comics. Just Jamie Comics on Instagram. And this thing is going to be proudly sword and sorcery bonkers. So I'm looking forward to getting a copy of that and sharing in the enthusiasm. Adam Dodds. Oh, good. All right, good. I do have it correct. All right, so so Adam Dodds, he's one of the other 5 guest artists that came on. Fantastic. He has a hashtag called Googly Gobbly where he does these types of illustrations, and I just find it meditative. I just really find it meditative. David Molina, guys, got to get on the ground level for this guy. He's got a lot of stuff coming out real soon. We're working together on a CROM story for the CROM anthology. But he is also working on other material. And so there'll be either independent releases or releases through CROM Anthology. So David Molina, Pariah Comics, at Pariah Comics, Instagram. Jason Schoonover, another collaborator on a short CROM story for the upcoming first issue of CROM Anthology. Fantastic draftsman, just absolutely a joy to hang out with and talk comics, and most definitely the process of making art. So on cromthebarbarian.com, there are blogs where all the episodes where I've hung out with the guest artists and we've talked about what we're working on and the CROM-centric art. Really good information. So, and some good background material. And then this guy, Drawn Sword, out of New Zealand, he's currently working on an art book called Scoundrel's Dread. I'm also helping him out as best as possible, possibly using the same print-on-demand company I use named Lulu, which really helps with a lot of that stuff that we artists struggle with, because we just want to do the art making fun. But his stuff, this is to size. I have to reiterate. This is 8.5 by 11. He works not just strictly at 8.5 by 11, but this is basically how big it is. He does it on A3 or A4, whatever it is for our 8.5 by 11 in the United States. So Drawn Sword, also another collaborator. Super excited to have somebody like him on board, as all of the guest artists. So on my way out, I want to repeat once again, please help share the word. 33 copies of 100 by the August 12th date is fantastic, and I can't thank everybody who's supported me so far. But CROM the Barbarian to vote yes and help me do this without a Kickstarter, without all the bells and whistles and the waiting. You just go, you pick a cover, you got a comic book within 2 weeks. And if there's any issues, through the the CROM Barbarian website, you're in communicate with me, so you don't feel kind of left, as I think most of us have, or some of us are. Have with some Kickstarters. So, not saying I wouldn't ever do a Kickstarter, but I think when you're somebody just starting out, you just need to get your product out there, get it in front of the right people, the people who really do enjoy this type of stuff, and then see what comes and goes from there. So, with that being said, CROM Anthology helps support. So based on the success of CROM Collected 2024 revised edition, you can see already in this scrapbook, I have plenty. Oh, look at this, my timer there. I have plenty of material here that I want to excavate and get right back out there. Also use as inspiration. This is just one. This is one volume that I've had printed. I've got a second one coming, and some other Golden Age really fun material that will also be incorporated. So, and then I'd also want to just say, I'm coming across so many talented people that are doing Barbarian, indie, black and white, pen and ink work. And if I haven't reached out to you or soon enough, I got to get through this month and this project. But as I start getting out of this month and heading into September, I'm going to be finding and reaching out and looking to work with other people because collaboration, open call for collaboration. Yeah, it's very excited. Like I said, figuring it out, looking to support, grow a community. So this first issue is what I call the CROM Player's Hand Guide. So if you need some more inspiration, or you want to tie your story into what's already here, it's fantastic. I'm open to it. I don't claim any ownership on CROM the Barbarian. I do own the website. But the character is in the public domain and should rightfully stay in the public domain. And people should just have as much fun with it as possible. Because it is a hot little SEO, if you will, search engine optimization keywording, which is CROM the Barbarian, which gets you close to Conan the Barbarian. So it's all very good and fun. So, all right. So on the way out, like I said, these were 5 artists that I collaborated with, and they have not only taught me a lot about the collaborating process, but have inspired me and have held me accountable for getting these comics together. So I have to thank each and every one of them. I just see now Mr. Adam Dodds, his goobly gobbly goop. Adam, can't thank you enough, and looking forward to working with you again on hopefully some more of this just meditative inking, googly gobbly goop. So thank you once again for being a part of it. And we got Ken Landgraf, which I can't seem to get my fix with Ken. I'm already in communicate with him about getting some more work done, possibly a short story illustrated by him, comic book. We'll see. Like I said, the project is absolutely, my CROM Anthology is really going to be dependent on how much support is given to this CROM Collected. So 33 copies out of the 100. That's fantastic. It really is. And I can't thank everyone who has purchased a copy. It's great support. But this is just even, like I said, a beginning thing. It's for me to help figure things out, also to be able to share, get people inspired, keep people connected, keep people happy. I know this is my happy place. This is one of the things that I've always gone to since I was 13 or 14 when I first got a hold of Savage Sword of Conan. On my worst days, I'd always go back to my box full of these comics and be immediately transported to what I always refer to a better place. So I want to bring this and keep this going as art form, comic book form, but maybe just like better mental health form. I am not a trained mental health therapist, but I just know everybody's different. And if your thing is sword wielding barbarians and busty wenches and cosmic horror and just all the goodness that comes with sword and sorcery and the just bizarreness and fantasy of like heavy metal. These are original issues. This is a 1993 issue of Metal Hurlant, which a friend of mine just came back from Paris and picked up 2 copies. Here's the second copy. Get ready. Get ready. Boom. Got this really nice Boris cover. So, I mean, this is just, it's hard for me once again to think of anything better. There's just such great stuff in here. I think there's a Drouillet story in here. But anyhow, oh wow, look at this. Little Charles Burns. So this is what I mean, like all in one magazine. Can't read the French, but still, it's just very inspiring. So this is what I want to accomplish, and looking for the support, building a community. So with that being said, I'm going to start backing out here. Yeah, we've done over 30 minutes. Help me answer this question. Can CROM sell 100 copies without Kickstarter? CROMTheBarbarian.com is where you can purchase it. It's the only place you can purchase it. There's no waiting. Once you purchase it, I usually fulfill the order within 24 hours. And within 2 weeks, 10 days, I'm seeing that the books are being printed and mailed out from Lulu. So just straightforward business like that, everybody. And I'm going to take you on a little journey, close-up journey, as they call it, of my cover. So here's the giant trying to get CROM's sword. This is Lala, who is CROM's sister. Of course, you always have nefarious wizards. You get CROM, the strapping young lad who just found Skullbiter. And then I did this really wild, it's an ode to Will Eisner, CROM. So thank you so very much for jumping in. Thank you for your support on whatever level it is. Follow me here on Instagram, YouTube. Message me. You got questions or you want to collaborate or whatever it is, let's get it going. And thank you. I really get tongue-tied because I'm just so damn excited at this point of the success and the people that I've met and the support that I've been given. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing and working with you. So take care.